wanna be down with the king.
It's the Sports Kings. Sports Kings. Big Mike.
He might fall off the wagon in the next 10 minutes.
Rob Calloway.
It's about bringing talent. It's not about all the flash and glitz and glam.
Not your average sports talk show. The Sports Kings.
This is NFL legend, Work Done.
This your boy D. Howard, a.k.a. Superman.
I'm Jerome Bettis, the bus.
It's Cam Newton. Holla at your boy already.
This is Hank Aaron, and I'm down with the King.
Tell a friend, Kings is back.
And welcome into a Tuesday on the Sports Kings podcast, as heard on Spreaker.com. Another beautiful, beautiful day in the ATL where we broadcast from, we being myself, Big Mike, my partner, Rob Calloway. You guys make sure you check us out on social media via Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. They're all at Sports Kings Live. Give us a follow. Send us some cute little messages or some hate or whatever you want to do. We'll respond, and we can kind of go back and forth if you choose. You can also email us at sportskingslive@gmail.com. And in the next couple of days, we're going to be rolling out a couple more ways for you to interact with us as a show and get involved with what we're doing here. Also, I need to mention this every day, as a matter of fact, that we are looking for people who are interested in sponsoring the show. So if you are, once again, get in contact with us via the email address I gave you, sportskingslive@gmail.com. Rob, what's happening?
Yes, sir. What's happening?
I don't know it, dog. Nice little day outside. Got to get out there and finish, taking care of my weed situation. Loaded up the old weed whacker. Had to put some more string in there, so I'm ready to go with that. Got 2 spools ready for the spring, so I can make sure my lawn is nice and manicured and keep the old homeowners association folks off my back. So I'm good.
I know that's right.
It's a good day.
I know that's right.
Productive day.
This weather is crazy.
Yeah.
The weather is crazy because I swear that there's some pollen out there already.
Yeah.
Because when I was in the car headed home a little while ago, had the windows down, and I looked in my mirror because my eyes were itching. I was like, oh, my eyes so red. Then they started to burn. I'm like, not pollen time. This is the worst time of year. If you live in the South, this is the worst time of year. What's about to happen these next few weeks?
Like in my driveway when it rains, there's some puddling that goes on when it rains, like right at the base of the driveway. And when I was out there on Sunday, after the water dried up, that powder was still there. That yellow powder was right there. Oh yeah.
Wow.
So, yep, for all you people that get the sniffles and the eye running, go get you some Claritin or whatever. That allergy stuff. Go stock up on it. So that you ain't around here, looking crazy. Like folks be running around here on some seriousness. Be walking around here with the outbreak monkey mask on their face, like walking around the city.
Right.
Yeah, dude. It's serious, man. As far as today's show goes, I should say. Got some stuff to talk about the NBA. I'm going to talk about my man LeBron and the game that they played yesterday versus the Heat. Funny thing, yesterday.
Oh my God!
Yesterday, as an example, I just gave the example of the Hawks playing the Warriors. We were talking about sitting players or whatnot, and lo and behold, I go downstairs and look at the Hawks game, and guess who they're playing? Tomorrow? The Warriors. So I guess that's like some Negro dominant stuff that I got going on. My favorite people, the NCAA A-holes. See, I almost let it come out.
You almost said it, boy.
Yeah, the NCAA holes are at it again, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And then we got some little tidbits. I still got to get to this article, you guys, and today might be a perfect day to do it. It's called "Bias in the Booth: An Insider Exposes How Sports Media Distort the News" by Dylan, or it might be Dylan Gwynn, Gwinn. Dylan. Hot fire. So this might be a perfect day to get to it because not a lot going on in sports today. The sports media, the sports news cycle has been dominated by Chris Borland. And everyone's so like, oh, look what's happening. Yeah, guess who talked about this last week? Yeah, the Sports Kings podcast. And this is what I love about, this is the part that I love about doing this job, or it's not necessarily a job yet, I'm not getting paid, but doing this, exercising my speech, my freedom of speech, so to speak, in this form. Because when you're the easiest thing to do is turn on these microphones and say, "Man, did you see that game last night? Man, did you hear about this or did you hear about this?" But the more introspective way to take on this responsibility is find the things that are going to be talked about and talk about them first. Like see where the wave is going and ride it. Because last week we saw these. Well, was it last week or the week before? We saw like 5 guys retire from the NFL around the age of 30.
Well, that was last week.
And for me, the first thing that comes to my mind always, and they all kind of gave the company line. They all gave the company line that, except for Jake Locker. Well, Jake Locker and Patrick Peterson alluded to bodily injuries, but everybody protected the shield. No one talked about their head. And it's like, all right, this kid Chris Borland played the same position as Patrick Peterson, but Patrick Willis, he played the position 8 years longer. You mean tell me that there's no part of you that says, yeah, I got money in my pocket, my toe is messed up, my feet are messed up, but at some point, when do you decide that I don't want my brain to become scrambled eggs? And that's what this kid Chris Borland did. He's like, yeah, I know I can do it. Like, I got a friend, my friend Alec. He's the most awesome dude ever. Like, that's his his philosophy with women. It's like, yeah, I know I can hit, so I'm good. It's like, if I do, I do at this point. If I don't, I don't. But knowing that I could, I'm at the pole position. I'm at the position that I want to be anyway. So whatever happens from then, I still won. And that's pretty much what this kid Chris Borland is saying. I know I can play in the NFL. Dude only played 12 games last year. Still ended up with 107 tackles, a couple of picks, fumble recoveries. Stepped in for an all-timer as far as the San Francisco 49ers are concerned, and Patrick Willis, and played a hell of a game. Was a defensive rookie of the year finalist. So he knows that he's able to do what he was drafted to do in the 3rd round, and now he's moved on. The thing I don't get is why are people giving him credit for this? I mean, essentially what he did was just quit his job. Like, if you put it in the regular people's talk, he just went into the boss and said, "Boss, I'm not trying to do this no more. I'll holler at you on the flip side." But he's so courageous. What? What do you mean? I
kind of understand what they're saying is that he's so young in his career that for him to put that kind of stuff first and actually just walk away from the game, because, we've been talking about it the past few shows. You have some guys, what did you say? I forgot who you quoted that said, Champ Bailey. They said, stick around as long as the league want to pay you. And you have some guys that truly stick around until the league just has nothing left for them. And with everything else, with all of this concussion stuff going on, and the fact that there's still a lot of unknowns right now, for that young man to just hang him up. I mean, because this dude was next man up for the 49ers. So it's kind of one of those things where, you kind of have to tip your hat just for the young man, just
really for quitting his job.
Yeah. Well, no, but I'm saying, Mike.
What part of that equals courageous?
Well, I'm saying maybe not. You know what I'm saying, Mike? That he didn't get blinded, by the fact that he was in the NFL and had the opportunity to make all of this money, because dude only has played a year into a contract. So, like I said, I think just being the fact that he was willing to walk away, nothing's wrong with it. He's just willing to walk away because he didn't want to have to deal with the possibilities of the unknown. And so I can get it, man. You don't have to tip your hat, but I will. Like that says a lot. He's putting his health first.
All right,
he quit his job, but he's putting things first that a lot of these players, well, number one, a lot of them didn't know what they were doing, but that a lot of guys still to this day, continue to do. So, from that standpoint, I do salute him. Because I wouldn't walk away from a lucrative contract.
And I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned what you would do, because it makes a difference. Here's a quote that Borland he gave to ESPN's Outside the Lines. I just want to live long. I just want to live a long, healthy life. I don't want to have any neurological diseases or die younger than I would otherwise. That's his reason for stepping away from the game. Now, you said you wouldn't. And there's a good reason you wouldn't. Because this is the stuff that no one, and I've been listening all day from this morning to this evening. I watched Dan Patrick. I watched Sports Center. I watched Around the Horn. I watched Michael Wilbon and Kornheiser. And here is where this is where I come in, where the author of the story looks like the characters within it. And this is what I mean.
Right. I know what you're,
There's a difference between somebody who's able to walk away from all that money. See, no one wants to talk about Chris Borland's upbringing. Well, somebody did. And guess who? Maurice Clarett. Maurice MFing Clarett from Ohio State University fame.
The University of Ohio State. Go ahead.
If you ask Terrell Pryor, yes. Now, all these guys who have come out, and I'm going to read some of these tweets here in a second, but all these guys who have come out and said, the hell with that. I'm going to play until they rip the uniform off my back. You know why? Because of the position that you're in economically. Like Chris Borland ain't taking care of his whole family. He ain't even come from a situation where that was even an option. This dude has his degree. He has his health. He's from a pretty well-to-do family. So you talking about a dude, he's leaving a couple $1 million on the table. You know why? Because he can. And this
he don't need it.
When I start talking about, I'm not going to say the man don't need it. Anybody need an extra $1 million, $2. But what I'm saying is he can comfortably walk away. And when you hear me use a term, and this is not my term, and I got to make sure I keep this guy's name in my head, the ghettoization of the sport.
Oh, yeah.
And then everyone brought this up today, too, the sport of boxing. But if you've been listening to this podcast, if you've heard me on 92.9 here in Atlanta or WAOK here in Atlanta, you've heard me mention this before. This is not new to me, and it's simply because you just read. You read and you understand what you're reading. You understand what you're looking for. Yeah, boxing at one point in time was an actual sport. Now, what is it? You have like 2 or 3 fights that people even care about a year. That's what it's devolved to. Prep schools, big time prep schools used to have boxing like during gym time, until at some point, well-to-do white people said, you know what? It probably ain't a good thing for little Billy to be getting hit in the head during third period. How about we don't do that anymore? Right.
Even with headgear on.
What, in 1950, did they have gear in 1950? Or were dudes just boxing?
They've always had to.
Not always. Don't say always. Because Cass was boxing like bare knuckle at one time.
What I'm saying, schools.
How you know about what they had in the 50s? How you know? Like, what you know about prep school in the 50s? We're talking about gym class in the 50s. Like, you know about gym class in the 50s?
And that's what I'm telling you, is that you can go back. Just go back and look. I mean, I've seen pictures, dude. Amateurs.
Wait, hold on. Where would you get pictures of somebody in gym class? I'm talking about in school. I'm not talking about an amateur fighter in like a gym. I'm talking about in school, like gym class.
Well, and that's but that's what I'm telling you, that they're not letting anybody just get bloody and beat the hell up in school, man. Like they would have stopped that a long time ago.
I have to take your word for it, because I don't know. And I don't know where you would get pictures of that.
I mean, from the amateur ranks, and like I said, I do know that headgear, and I don't know how good it was back then. I mean, I'm sure it probably didn't protect them any more than those leather helmets did back in the old days of the NFL, but it was around. But, yeah, I mean, we never had boxing in black schools, though.
Well, we're talking about the difference between the 50s, and we were in elementary school in the late 80s and 90s, in the early 90s, so... Yeah. It was done by then. Here's what Maurice Clarett had to say. And when I saw his 30 for 30, like, I didn't know this dude was that thoughtful of a kid. When you heard all those stories about him robbing people and all that kind of stuff, like, you don't realize, man, this kid is a pretty thoughtful kid. He's got some good things to say. He's a motivational speaker now up in the.
Well, he's had nothing but time to think, though, man.
Even still, a lot of people want to get up in front of people and speak, and they can't put words together. I mean, this kid you tell he's a very thoughtful kid. He's always been a very thoughtful kid. And when he did that thing, when he challenged the NCAA, that kind of was, the straw that broke the camel's back. It's like he was one man standing against a bigger entity, and it kind of crushed him and led him down a path that he wasn't prepared for. But that's neither here nor there. Just, if you haven't seen the Maurice Clarett 30 for 30. It's good watching. You should go ahead and check it out. He says, in regard to Chris Borland, they should do a study on his upbringing, education. Oh, is this thing? Let me minimize this a little bit. Hold on.